The House of Representatives has approved a White House request to claw back 2 years of previously approved funding for public media. The rescissions package now moves on to the Senate. This move poses a serious threat to local stations and public media as we know it. Please take a stand for public media today at goacpr.org. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers. And we're broadcasting this week. You get ready for this?
I'm ready.
From Murky Research here at Car Talk Plaza. Now, Paul Murky, whom you all know.
The director, founder.
Of whom you all know.
Chief bottle washer.
And I don't know what's gotten into him lately, but he's actually been showing up at work. Has presented us with more fascinating insights into what Car Talk listeners think about their cars, car companies, and dealers. Give us a little taste.
I'll just give a little taste, because I think the most interesting question we asked was, considering everything, if you had it to do all over again, would you buy the same car again? That's a good question. You know, that says it all, in my humble opinion. And first we looked at that by the origin of the car. Which origin? And I just broke it up into American, European, and Asian. Which of those three would you say are most likely to have bought the same car again? And answering that
most
question.
Likely two, or most likely to have?
To have said.
To have said,
yes, I would definitely buy the same car again.
Asian.
European.
There you go.
European. 85% of people with European cars of European origin said they would buy the car again. Close behind was Asian, 82%, and coming up a distant third was American car owners. Only 62% said that, right?
That's good.
But then we did it by a specific car. Which car do you think is the car that most people would buy again? Out of all the cars.
I mean, you want me out of the 600
out of the
makes
600
and models,
makes and models that
you want me to pick the one?
The one. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom,
Infiniti
boom,
Q45.
Wow! That's it, man! The Infiniti. The Infiniti is the car that more people would buy. 82% said they would buy the car again if they had it to do all over again.
Really?
And Alfa and Fiat are up there. I mean, I don't know why, but they are.
I don't know why. I suspect tampering with the data. That's what I strongly suspect.
But of the cars that you actually could buy again, what do you figure second? If you get this one right, I'm going to know there's tampering with the data.
Studebaker. No, huh?
No. Volvo.
Oh, sure. I believe that.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Then it's Honda and Lexus and stuff like that. And the first significant American car to make the list is Lincoln, which is like 10th or something in the list.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Now, here's the next question. You ready for this? The next question was, considering only the experiences that you've had with the dealership, how likely is it you would buy the car again? And Saturn goes from like 15th spot up to number one. 90%.
Based solely on the dealership experience.
72%. 72%. Based only on the dealership experience. Not the car, not the mileage, not how it handles, nothing.
How they were treated.
The dealership experience.
I imagine that dealership experience means both how it was when you bought the car and how you were treated when you went in for service.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Saturn was way above everybody else, but Infiniti was second.
Yeah, who's at the bottom?
I can't say, because I might cast dispersions. I mean, again, if you leave out the companies that don't have
give us
dealerships,
the bottom five.
The bottom five are of the bottom five. Four of them don't have dealerships, like Triumphs, MGs, Fiats. But of the cars that have,
well, that's why they got such low ratings. People went back to the dealership; it was gone.
It's gone. But of the cars, I can't say it because it's the J word, but it is a British company that makes cars, very expensive cars.
Maybe Jaguar?
And I can't mention their names ever again because I said it would be a cold day in you know where when I say the J word again. But people hate them more than anybody else.
Of the extent
dealerships. Yeah.
Pretty heavy duty stuff.
Whew! This is good stuff. So if you got nothing else to do and you want to see the rest of the data, you go to cartalk.msn.com and you find out all this stuff.
And if you haven't taken the survey, do it the next time you're at work. Because we are updating this information constantly, like every 6 to 8 months.
Every day. Every minute.
If you want to call us, our number is 1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Mary from Rome, Georgia.
What's shaking?
I need some marital counseling here on a car problem.
Oh, excellent. Your husband is right. Get off the phone. What are you wasting that time for?
Right. So I know that y'all are going to take my side on this.
Well, we might.
We may.
Okay, my husband goes to the gas station, and we're all in the car, and he gets out of the car, and in order to keep the air conditioning running, he pumps the gas while the car is running.
Oh.
Now, on that little awning at the gas station, there's only 2 directions. It says no smoking,
and
turn engine off.
Yeah.
And I told him to turn the engine off, and he says, why? I said, because it says on the awning to turn the engine off.
Yeah.
And he says, well, have you ever heard of anybody blowing up while they're pumping gas in the car? And I said, no, because everybody else turns the engine off.
And you're the only dope that doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's me. I turned the engine off. He says he's trying to keep us comfortable in the car with the air conditioning on.
Oh, yeah.
But he said he would abide by what you guys say.
I mean, wow, everything's buried here, First of all, this is just another example of the whole country having a blatant disregard for rules and laws.
Right.
Exactly.
And he's
That's
a lawyer.
just another example of that.
Well, enough said.
Enough said. Secondly, I love the way he turned it around and said he knows he's violating the law. He's doing it for the comfort of his wife and family.
Right, and you should stop complaining about it, he means.
And my God, why should you complain when I'm doing this for you? Because he's hot. He's out of the car.
See, he can run when the car blows up.
No,
I'll
he
be
can't.
in the car.
Oh,
on fire.
No, he can't.
He could never run that fast.
Never.
Yeah. Well, he might run that fast if his butt were on fire.
I think it's nice of him to want you to be comfortable. But if you tell him that you'd rather not blow up than be comfortable, then he should accede to that request, I think.
Great.
And are you right? Well, of course you're right. He should turn off the engine because you're absolutely right. The reason that the gas stations don't blow up is because everyone else is turning off the engines.
Right. Now, he also made me promise to tell you that I let my 14-year-old son pump the gas into my car because I don't want my hands to smell like gas. And he says that is also illegal. Is that true?
To have a 14-year-old pump gas?
Right.
No. Was he smoking?
No.
No, then he's all right.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's illegal. In
No?
fact, I let my 11-year-old daughter pump gas.
Right.
She filled up everyone's car.
I mean, don't forget, it ain't rocket science.
$200.
Oh, boy.
Tell your husband to shape up,
Right.
but thank him. Try not to make it into a fight,
Okay.
I'm sure you won't because you have that
Try
fine
not to
Southern
Try
hospitality.
not to belittle him
I
any
won't.
more than you have to.
Oh, I won't. And if y'all can shed some light on that not asking direction thing.
Oh, no, you can't. No, we're sworn to secrecy.
We're doing an entire CD on that subject.
That's like the fraternity code.
Yes, it is. If you know the handshake, then you're all set.
I thought so.
See you, Mary.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye.
Hey, don't go anywhere because we've got a lot more calls, well, a few anyway, and the puzzler answer coming up right after this.
This message comes from Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. With Wise, you can send, spend, or receive money across borders, all at a fair exchange rate. No markups or hidden fees. Join millions of customers and visit wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Decades ago, Brazilian women made a discovery. They could have an abortion without a doctor, thanks to a tiny pill. That pill spawned a global movement, helping millions of women have safe abortions regardless of the law. Hear that story on The Network from NPR's Embedded and Futuro Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
On the plus side, you get sponsor-free listening to over 25 NPR podcasts. On the minus side, you get fewer chances to tap fast forward on your podcast player. On the plus side, you get to support something you care about. On the minus side, you like challenges and think this makes it too easy. So why don't you join us on the plus side of things with NPR Plus? Learn more and sign up at plus.npr.org.
On NPR's Throughline,
schoolhouses are less expensive than rebellions.
We've been debating the government's role in education since the Civil War.
1/10 of our national debt would have saved us the blood and treasure of the late war.
How the Department of Education tried to fix a divided nation.
Listen to Throughline wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, look, it's time, finally, to answer the question that Monty Hall has been dying to know the answer to.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to embarrass you by asking you what Lee's.
Of course I knew it was Monty Hall.
And we've we've used this puzzler now for 2 weeks, and it's time to give the answer.
Yeah, well, I've been dying to find out what the answer is.
I'll restate the puzzler as briefly as I can. Everyone remembers the game show Let's Make a Deal, where the contestant was presented with 3 doors. Door number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay? Yeah. Behind one of the doors is a wonderful prize, and behind the other 2 doors were crummy prizes, like known as zonks. Okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Here's the puzzler. You are the contestant. Monty Hall says, pick a door. Go ahead, pick a door.
3.
No, you have to pick 2.
2.
Okay. Monty Hall says, okay, you've picked door number 2. Now, in the real game, he offered you cash and whatever. We simplified it.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to show you what's behind one of the doors that you didn't pick. Now, because there's only one prize, needless to say, I won't even say it.
Yeah.
Those 2 doors have one, either 2 zonks.
Or 1 prize and 1 zonk.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only choices.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you what's behind one of the doors.
So he knows where the zonks are. So he says, I'm going to show you what's behind door number 1. And he shows you that, 63 dart. He then says, do you want to switch your choice from door number 2 to door number 3? And your logic is what?
What's the difference?
What's the difference? I had a 1 in 3 chance of winning before.
Right. I could just as easily have chosen 3 the first time. What's the difference? I'm sticking with 2.
And that's the answer. You should stick. It's a stupid puzzler. No, that isn't the answer. The answer is you should switch. Now, I know this is going to generate all kinds of gnashing of teeth and all kinds of controversy.
Especially among all the college professors who've been teaching probability theory all their lives and think they understand it.
Well, I know I don't understand anything.
I was one of them.
You should switch because if you don't switch, your chance of winning is 1 in 3. We already know that. You pick a door, no matter what he does, your chance is 1 in 3.
Exactly.
If you do switch, this is the part that's hard to believe. Your chances become 2 in 3. You double your chance.
Impossible! I can hear it all over the country. I can hear them all.
You can hear it reverberating.
Impossible! The guys
From
have
sea to
flipped
shining
out now.
sea.
They've gone over the edge. I won't stand for it. What's their email address?
From Springfield to Springfield to Springfield.
To Fairview to Fairview to Fairview.
Here's the simplest way I can explain it. What Monty Hall is basically offering you is this. He says, you've chosen door number 2. Would you like to switch for doors 1 and 3?
Exactly.
Because he knows where the zonk is, he's obviously going to show you the other zonk, which is door number 1. Mm-hmm. But he can't show you door number 3 because the prize might be there.
It might be.
And if it is there, he can't show you that. So what he's basically saying is, you pick door number 2. I'm going to give you 1 and 3.
If he had not shown you what was behind door number 1 and simply said, would you like to switch from door 2 to doors 1 and 3? Would you always switch? Of course you would.
Right. And if he said to you, if he showed you nothing and asked you if you would switch from door number 2, your answer would be no. But because he has shown you one of the zonks. Now
you believe that it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Pretty good, huh? Who's our winner this week?
Wow. Whew. Tired just thinking about it. The winner is Victoria Montag. Sounds like something's left off the end of that name. Montague or Montagna or Montana. Victoria Montag from Floral City, Florida, and for having her correct answer chosen at random from all the dozens, if not hundreds, if not 2 correct answers we received this week. our Victoria, wins our newest CD, brand new, a whole album of calls about couples and their cars. It's called Men Are From GM, Women Are From Ford, and it's guaranteed to cement any relationship.
That's bad words.
You have. Not in the underworld sense of the word, of course. No person in a relationship should be without one of these magnificent CDs. All questions you could possibly ever have about a relationship are answered in this CD.
Almost. And some questions asked, too. Anyway, we will have a brand new, folkloric, historic, interesting, challenging, and scintillating, thrilling.
Just minutes ago, you said, I don't have a puzzler. And all of a sudden, you went from that to...
Well, I had to build it up, otherwise people won't listen to the second half of the show. So
is it that cup of chicken soup that you drank? All of a sudden, interesting, folkloric, challenging. What else?
Historic, folkloric. The
yeah.
chicken soup vitalized me.
I'm glad.
Not revitalized, just vitalized.
Yeah.
So don't touch that dial because this puzzler is coming up in the second half.
Wow. Okay, I'm ready. 1-800-332-9287 is the number. You may have forgotten that.
Huh? Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Christine from Portland, Oregon.
Christine
with a CH.
With a CH, yes.
From Portland.
Portland.
There's a Portland, Maine, which is spelled P-O-H-T-L-A-N-D.
Okay, yeah.
There's no D at the end. Portland.
Yeah. Like Portland cement.
Yeah, like Portland cement.
Oh, we pronounce the R, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. We won't hold it against you. What's up?
Okay, I am 15 years old. And
Really? You sound so much older.
Sound so much older. Yeah, I sound like a boy since I was about 6th grade. It's, I get used to it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Are you like a freshman in high school?
Sophomore.
Sophomore?
Yes, I got my driver's permit a couple of months ago, and I'm letting my mother teach me how to drive on her Mazda Millennia.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stop her from freaking out. And she's so nice about it. She's taught a couple kids before me, and she'll sit there rigid with her hands in her lap and say, "Oh, Christine, sweetie, you're doing so well." "Oh, Christine, you're doing wonderfully." And it scares me. This is so nerve-wracking, and I don't know how to nicely tell her to stop freaking out.
Well, I realized the other day that the most death-defying, nerve-wracking, stressful occupation has got to be a driver's ed instructor.
Yeah.
I mean, you get all manner of bozos behind that wheel.
It's been proven that they have the highest levels of Prozac in their bloodstreams of any other occupational group in the country.
So, I mean, I guess because your mother's so close to you, I mean, not just in a physical sense, but it makes it all that more difficult. I mean, I refuse to teach my older son how to drive because the few times I tried, I realized that it was unlikely he was going to learn how to drive because I would kill him first.
Yeah.
So I can understand you. I think you must separate yourself from your mother.
Well, I mean, you say your mother has taught several other kids.
Well,
male or
the
female?
brother and sister, yes.
Brother and sister, and both
are they
of
emotionally scarred like you're going to be?
Well, no, it's a family ongoing joke. So I don't know.
So I mean, they got through it, but only barely.
Yes, barely.
So we can lay the blame for all this on your mother.
Well, how do you rate your ability compared to theirs? Are you a klutz?
Well, I'm a klutz by nature.
Now that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you scatterbrained?
Yeah, I'm quite a bit less or more clumsy than they are.
Uh-huh.
So you're not coordinated. You're a klutz. You're scatterbrained. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be a good driver.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you shouldn't. Certain people shouldn't learn to drive in a car that doesn't have dual controls, and I think you might be one of them. And your mother is crazy for attempting.
Well, the other thing is when she's driving, she'll go through stop signs and says, "Christine, don't do that when you drive."
But it is funny how your instinct takes over. Our friend Tony is teaching his older son how to drive, and recently he and I went someplace, and I was driving. And every time we came to an intersection, he'd say to me, "Okay, you can pull out now." "Okay, watch out, there's a stop sign coming up." Has the screaming diminished? I mean, did it start off really bad, and now is it tapered off a little bit?
Has it tapered off? Well,
no,
it's not the fact that she screams. It's so spontaneous, and just because I swerve a little to the left or I run a stop sign, everybody does that once in a while. And she just jumps on me, and it makes me jump, and so I don't know.
If you called to get advice and you want some advice, my advice is go to a driving school.
Go to a driving school.
It
Yeah,
really
I
is.
think
I mean, it'll make the relationship between you and the mother much simpler and easier, and it'll keep her alive of just a few days longer, and maybe you too.
Any doctors in the family?
Any doctors in the family?
Yeah.
No.
You know a doctor that... Can you get some Valiums? That might calm her down a little bit. She said, "Oh, that's all right, Christine."
Yeah. Tell your mother it'll be the best couple of $100 she ever spent.
See you, Christine.
Good luck, Christine.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Jeez, I
mean, she shouldn't be spending her time that way. A mother has enough things to do that she doesn't have
worry
to
about
add more stress to her life by driving around with a klutzy, flaky 15-year-old daughter.
Well, I know that I could never have taught my son to drive, but the driving school did a wonderful job, and he is a competent and capable and extremely safe driver.
See, I taught my son to drive in all the loaner cars that we get because I didn't want him to rack up my Dodge Dart.
Right.
So every time we get those like J cars and what do they call them, Jag, whatever they are, I let my son drive them around. I didn't go with him because I didn't want to get involved in the accident.
No, and even though he just had a permit,
it
didn't really matter.
Oh, he didn't have a permit?
We'll be right back with more calls and the new puzzle right after these important messages.
Electric vehicles are supposed to be the future, fast, clean, and everywhere. But now even automakers are pulling back. What happened?
The pace of electrification was not going to be as fast as everybody thought.
On the Sunday Story from Up First, hear how shifting politics and changing demand are slowing down the EV revolution. Listen now to the Sunday Story on the Up First podcast from NPR.
You're listening to NPR because you're curious. You want to know what the world is like beyond the surface. NPR feeds that curiosity with stories from real people with real experiences and all the perspectives that come with them. It's our right to be curious and our prerogative to listen. So keep your curiosity alive. Hear the bigger picture every day on NPR.
You know those things you shout at the radio or maybe even at this very NPR podcast? On NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, we actually say those things on the radio and on the podcast. We're rude across all media. We think the news can take it. Listen to NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me wherever you get your podcasts.
On NPR's Wildcard podcast, Michelle Obama says she's reinventing herself.
I don't know if my ambition has ever fully been able to actualize itself. I think I'm now at a stage in my life where all my choices are mine.
I'm Rachel Martin. Listen to Wildcard for a conversation about balancing family and personal growth with Michelle Obama.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss, of course, cars.
Yeah.
Maybe. Car repair, and have we got a crisis here?
Oh, it's more than a crisis. It should have been entitled...
This is a national emergency?
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Whoa.
I mean, as you may have... Maybe you haven't noticed.
I haven't noticed.
The mail that we've been getting...
is of such poor quality?
It is of such poor quality as to not even be worthy to be read. I'm not talking about read on the air. Not read at all. We have received just about the worst mail for the past months it's been. We have to go through 1,000 letters to find one little gem. And I'm fed up.
Well, you know...
yeah?
It is difficult. Whenever there is a new technology that takes place,
yeah,
there is always a degradation in the quality of the literature of the society. For example, when we went from writing by hand to typewriters, it was done with such alacrity that people tend to dash things off without really thinking about them. When you had to write with pen and ink,
quill,
and a quill pen and blot every sentence.
Yeah.
You really put some thought into it before you put
screw up, boy, and you're in trouble. You're gonna
start all over again. I mean, think about
in the beginning. Oh no!
I mean, think about the old days when they were pressing the reeds into the clay tablets.
Yeah.
I mean, man, you get to the end of the tablet, you screw up and everything. I mean,
so you're blaming it all on the internet and email.
There you go.
Well, you may be right.
It's a temporary problem. It will soon get fixed by itself, but you'll be dead by then.
Well, here's what I thought I would do. I thought that part of the problem was that people have forgotten what a good letter is.
Yes, they indeed have.
And Dougie Mayer went over to the website just this moments ago and printed up the Andy letter. I thought I would just read the Andy letter, which, as some people may not know, is the paradigm by which all letters will be measured.
The benchmark letter.
The benchmark of quality. Dear Click and Clack, this is, by the way, he never even gave us his real name. He signed it Andy R. from Marlboro, Vermont, 05344. That's it. Humble as well as great. I am writing to offer profound thanks to you for resolving an important philosophical question that has been heatedly debated for the last 20 years. The rumination began on a construction site one summer in the early 70s as my friend Jamie and I were working our way through college. Notice the introduction there. I'm writing notice the
flow,
the vocabulary, the flow, the storytelling.
Yes, working our way through construction site. It paints the whole picture for you, doesn't it?
The question we raised and have agonized over lo these many years is one that I have never read about in any philosophical treatise, and yet I have found it has applied to countless situations and conversations overheard in bars, repair shops, sporting events, political debates, etc., etc. Posit the question. Do two people who don't know what they're talking about know more or less than one person who doesn't know what he's talking about? Pardon the un-PC masculine pronoun, but I have found this to be most predominantly a male phenomenon. In your recent conversations regarding electric brakes on a cattle carrier, that he's referring to a call we had many moons ago, I believe you definitely answered this query and have put our debate to rest. Amazingly enough, you proved that even in a case where one person might know nothing about a subject, it is possible for two people to know even less.
Negative something.
One person will only go so far out on a limb in his construction of deeply hypothetical structures, and will often end with a shrug or a raising of hands to indicate the dismissibility of his particular take on a subject. With two people, the intricacies, the gives and takes, the wherefores and why nots can become a veritable pas de deux of breathtaking speculation, interwoven in such a way that apologies or gestures of doubt are rendered unnecessary. I had always suspected this was the case, but no argument I could have built from my years of observation would have so satisfyingly closed the door on the subject as your performance on the cattle carrier call. To begin your comments by saying, quote, "We'll answer your question if you tell us how electric brakes work," and, quote, "We've never heard of electric brakes," and then indulge in lengthy theoretical hypostulations on the whys and wherefores of the caller's problem, allowed me to observe that you were finally putting this gnarly question to rest. I am forever indebted to you for the great service you have performed. I'm truly impressed that it took so many years of listening to your show to finally have this matter resolved. Sincerely, Andy R. Now that is a letter.
Indeed it is. So your idea is that you will,
by
reading this letter, you will encourage, challenge,
motivate, challenge even those people who are sitting trying to dash off gibberish on their stupid little email account to really think about something and do it in a way that makes it memorable. Andy R. Period. Marlboro, Vermont. Okay.
All right. Boy,
well, I'm sorry I had to take people to task, but it's been deteriorating for weeks and weeks and weeks, and finally today I said I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm not going to read any more mail for the next month.
Boy, when my brother doesn't get his way, he gets nasty, doesn't he?
I do, yeah.
Boy, jeez. Grow up!
I was spoiled by Andy.
All right, here's the puzzler. The puzzler has to do with the birth of a word.
Very good.
You ready?
Yeah.
Now, I don't have all the facts straight.
But I'm sure you'll make them up.
and I've realized, This may be
I'll help you wherever I can. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know that.
But I'll help you as much as I can.
And I realize that I'm no longer afraid to be stupid. I've stared stupidity right in the face, mostly by looking in the mirror, and it doesn't bother me anymore. So when somebody says, "You're nuts," we don't know where you got this information, it's ridiculous, I don't care.
No, why should you? Go ahead.
During the 19th century, disgruntled French peasants.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of the disgruntlement movement of French workers in general. I mean, French workers are renowned for going on strike at the drop of a croissant. Would go into the fields of the landlords. These are peasants that worked the fields, grew the crops, sowed and harvested the crops.
Yeah.
And would trample said crops to show their discontent or disdain with the way they were being treated by these landlords.
Yeah.
And they would trample the crops wearing their wooden peasant shoes.
Wow.
Out of this behavior, a new word was born. And it, of course, has entered not just the French vocabulary, but the English vocabulary as well. And it is a very common word, a word that you could hear every day.
I know the answer.
Go ahead.
Cabernet Sauvignon. How am I doing?
There you go.
Is that
it? That's it, man.
Oh.
So what is this word?
What is the word?
That was created out of this peasant
uprising,
so to speak.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you think you know the answer or want to give your non-electronic postman something to do, mail your answer to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our fair city.
Ma 02238. Or you can email us your answer from our website, cartalk.msn.com. Just click on the Talk to Car Talk section. And if we choose your correct answer at random from among all the correct answers that we receive, you'll get your very own copy of our brand new CD called Men Are From GM, Women Are From Ford. It's just called, it's about couples and cars. Guaranteed to fix up any relationship. If you'd like to call us, our number is 1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Dave from St. Anthony, Minnesota.
Dave, St. Anthony, Minnesota.
Anthony.
It's a suburb of Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Oh, St. Paul, St. Anthony.
Right.
Oh, good. So what's up?
Well, I have an 88 Chevy Nova that's got about 150,000 miles on it, and it runs excellent, except my water pump whistles. Oh. And it started about 4 months ago, and at first I thought it was my clutch because I would come to a stop and I would push in the clutch and the whistling would start. And then I would let out the clutch and the engine would engage, or the clutch would engage and the sound would go away. Well, then it got louder and louder, and one day I took it out of gear and let out the clutch, and it kept going. So then I realized it was something different that was stopping because of the tension on the engine when I would let out the clutch.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't like this.
So I pulled into a gas station. It got really loud one day, loud enough. You know how when you hear somebody driving?
So you pulled into a gas station and some guy said, "Oh, it's your water pump."
Right. Well, he came out with a stethoscope, and he put it on a bunch of different things, and he said, "It's your water pump, and I can replace it for about $300 and some.
Whoa!
So I went home and I called my mechanic, and he said, if it is the water pump, it'll be about $165. So I took it into him, and he listened to it, and he said, it's definitely the water pump, but he said, this water pump is working great. So he took some water pump lubricant and poured it into the radiator, and the noise quit within like 5 minutes. But about 2 months later, the noise came back.
The reason the noise goes away when you release the clutch is, number one, you introduce the transmission into the picture, and all the noise that the transmission is making drowns out this other noise. The noise doesn't go away. It's merely occluded by the gnashing of grinding of bearings and whatever in the transmission.
Wait, can you occlude a noise?
Yes, I think so. You think
I don't
occlude
think
is a
so.
visual thing.
Well, ocular.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think you can occlude a noise.
It sounded good, didn't it?
Well, we'll find out, I'm sure.
No, you probably can't.
Well, here's what I'm wondering. When I put the lubricant in the radiator, after maybe 5 minutes of running the engine, the noise goes away.
Yeah.
Okay, but about every month, it starts to come back again.
Yeah, you need a water pump.
Okay,
But, I mean, if the guy said that the water pump is operating fine and he concluded it's not leaking.
Right, it doesn't leak a drop.
It doesn't leak a drop.
And the engine runs really cool.
Yeah. Then I would say forget it if the noise isn't making you crazy.
Well, what
is
I'm
the noise
wondering
making you crazy $165 worth?
Well, what I'm wondering is I started carrying a gallon of water around with me because I'm wondering, everybody else that has heard it has said, well, when a water pump goes out, it starts making this grinding sound, and it sounds really terrible, and mine just whistles.
No, the good thing about water pumps is that they generally take a very long time to reach a traumatic, disastrous, catastrophic state.
So it won't just go out on the freeway someday and I'll lose all my...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it could, but it would probably start leaking a little bit first.
Okay.
And it might
because you're very sensitive to noises, and you're listening to this all the time.
Right.
To the extent that you stopped listening to the radio, because you have to focus on this.
Yeah.
I would say that as soon as the thing starts making a different kind of noise that would indicate that its bearings are going,
right,
you'll have it replaced.
Sure.
This is an 88. How many miles have on it?
150,000.
150.
And it's got the original water pump.
How much longer do you figure on keeping this car?
I'm going to keep it until the floorboards fall out.
Okay, another week.
You're in Minnesota.
We'll put you down for the first week in October.
Well, here's my philosophy, and I use it in everything I do. Why, let's assume the car is going to last 200,000 miles,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Why would you want to replace the water pump at 195?
Yeah.
And moreover, live with the anxiety created by having a noisy water pump whose future is so uncertain that you're going to have to carry around a sleeping bag, a frozen pizza, your Boy Scout flashlight, gallons of antifreeze, and all this stuff. Get it replaced.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to replace it somewhere between now and the end of the life of the car. We know it's not going to last another $50,000.
It might.
Right.
It might, but it's a 1 in 1,000 chance.
So why not enjoy it now?
Exactly. Why not? And get rid of this noise so you can hear all the other noises that the car is making. And maybe fend off some kind of other disaster.
Well, you could, but maybe Dave likes to live on the edge.
I don't. Driving an 88 Nova? I don't think so.
Well, see, I'm thinking if I just teach it the words, it'll quit whistling.
That's good.
Well, my philosophy, you know my position.
Okay.
I would get it fixed immediately.
I would go with my brother on that.
Really?
Yeah, he seldom goes with me, so you might as well
do.
Buy it, Dave.
Okay.
See you later. Or pray to St. Anthony you'll find a water pump.
Okay.
See you later.
Thanks for calling.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, it's happened again. You have wasted another perfectly good hour listening to Car Talk.
Yeah.
Our esteemed producer is Doug, the Subway Fugitive Bourbon. Our associate producer and Dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Babyface Rogers. Our assistant producer is Catherine Crystal Ray. And our engineer is John Marston. Our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor is Mr. John. Gee, all these words here.
Yeah.
Mr. John S. Lawler.
Yeah.
Is he here?
No.
No, good. Okay.
Then
Free
it's
lunch,
John.
sweet cheeks, donut bread. Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Margin Overa. Our director of new product repair is Warren T. Myfoot. Our staff butler from the Car Talk Mumbai division is Mahatma Kote. From the New Delhi office, our blues coordinator is Mohammedan Tolmi. Our document security expert from the island of Jamaica is Euripides Upman. Our Italian governess is Donna Day Everlearn. The co-chairs of the Car Talk Building Department are Norman Naylor and Maureen Staplegun. Our evasive driving instructor is Vera Brupley. Our Boston traffic director is Laura Biden. Our director of moral support is Hugh DeMann, and our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe is Hugh Lewis Dewey, known in the leaf piles of Harvard Square as Huey Louie Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Taplet Brothers. Don't drive like either of my siblings.
Don't drive like my brother or my sister.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now with an important announcement, here is Car Talk Plaza's chief mechanic, Mr. Vinny Gumbats. Vinny?
All right, now listen up, Now, if you want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which is number 43, here's what you're going to do, all right?
Are you going to give out the phone number now, Vinny? Is that...
No, I'm going to play craps with Janet Reno, you moron. The number to call is 303-823-8000.
And what would be the number if you wanted our brand new CD about couples and cars, the one called Men Are From GM and Women Are From Ford?
What, do you get paid by the word or what?
I'm sorry. Go on.
Thank you. For Car Talk CDs, cassettes, T-shirts, etc., you call 303-823-8000, or you visit our shameless commerce division at cartalk.msn.com. You got anything to add to this, Mr. Radio Man?
No.
Good. Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe and WVUR in Boston.
And even though Andre Codrescu pines for his homeland every time he hears us say it, this is NPR National Public Radio.
At Planet Money, we know that economic jargon can sometimes feel like speaking another language.
Yeah, like arbitrage, alpha, autarky.
That's just what's in the news these days. There's also absolute advantage, aggregate demand,
aggregate supply, and this is just the A's.
Oh, animal spirits.
That's a pretty good one. Planet Money from NPR. We help you translate the economy so you can understand the world, wherever you get your podcasts.
Pop Culture Happy Hour, NPR's easy breezy, laid back pop culture podcast, has brought you the best in culture for the past 15 years.
That means we spent the last 15 years talking about what exactly?
Bad reality TV, actually good Marvel movies,
actually awful Marvel movies,
reboots, pop music,
prestige dramas,
Netflix slop. That's 15 years of buzzy pop culture chit chat, and here's to many more with you along for the ride. Listen to Pop Culture Happy Hour on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.
On NPR's Throughline,
school teachers are going to be the ones that rebuild our society in a way that is more cohesive. Basically, where soldiers set down their arms, school teachers need to pick up their books.
How the U.S. Department of Education tried to fix a divided nation.
Listen to Throughline wherever you get your podcasts.